All right, let's talk about something we all use every single day, but maybe don't really get. I'm talking about money. We're going to peel back the curtain, go way beyond just cash and coins, and really figure out what money is and how it secretly runs our lives. So get ready, because we're about to change how you see money forever.
So, to kick things off, just think about this for a second. What if money isn't really a thing at all? What if it's just an idea, a powerful story that we all agree to believe in? Just let that marinate for a moment. Because that one thought, it's the key to unlocking everything we're about to dive into.
Okay, before we get to the really wild, mind-bending stuff, we have to build a foundation. We got to get on the same page. So, let's start with the most basic question of all. What is money really? At its most basic level, money is just a tool. A really clever invention, actually. You know, imagine trying to trade your chickens for a new pair of shoes. It sounds simple, but what if the shoemaker is a vegetarian and doesn't want your chickens? See? That's the problem with bartering. Money is the brilliant solution to that. It's this one thing that everybody agrees has value. So, money lets us trade things. Got it. But that's just job number one. For our whole economic world to spin, money actually has to juggle 4 different jobs at the same time. Let's break down what those are. So here they are. It's a medium of exchange, a unit of account, a store of value, and a means of payment. These are basically the 4 legs of the table. But what's holding the whole table up? What's the invisible magic that makes a piece of paper so powerful? Well, that's exactly what we're getting into next. You see, all those jobs, all that power, it all hinges on one single invisible ingredient. And if that ingredient disappears, the whole system just falls apart. That secret ingredient is trust. And what's so fascinating is how that trust works. In the past, it was pretty straightforward. Your dollar bill was basically an IOU for a real physical piece of gold sitting in a vault somewhere. But today? Well, today our money is what's called fiat money. It's not backed by gold or anything physical. It's backed purely by our collective faith, our trust, that the government and the economy behind it are stable. This quote just nails it. A $100 bill is just a piece of paper with some fancy ink on it. The only thing that makes it worth $100 is that we all believe it is. When that collective belief shatters, like it did in the 1920s in Germany, when people literally burned cash to stay warm, or more recently in places like Zimbabwe, that paper goes right back to being worthless.
And once you really get this whole trust thing, it helps you see through one of the biggest and most dangerous myths about money.
I mean, we've all thought this at some point, right? If the government needs money, why not just, print more? It sounds so simple. It seems like an easy fix for so many problems. But oh boy, is it a trap. So here's what really happens. When you pump a bunch of new money into the economy, but you don't actually create more stuff to buy, more cars, more houses, more services, you just end up with more dollars chasing the exact same amount of goods.
And the result of that, it isn't wealth, it's inflation. Suddenly, prices for everything go up, and the value of every single dollar you worked hard to save goes down. So printing money doesn't make a country richer, it just makes its money weaker.
Okay, so we've looked at money on this huge economic scale with trust and inflation. But let's bring it back down to us. What about on a personal level? How does this weird, abstract idea of money mess with our own brains? This is where it gets really interesting. Think about it. $1,000 can feel like a life-changing fortune to one person and just pocket change to someone else. Our personal experiences, our dreams, our anxieties, they all color how we see money. Its value isn't fixed. It's all in our heads.
And if you really want to put money's value into perspective, look at this. You can lose every single cent you have, and in theory, you could earn it all back. But time, every minute that ticks by, is gone forever. You can never get it back. That is a huge, huge difference.
And this is exactly why truly wealthy people aren't just obsessed with accumulating more money. They're obsessed with accumulating time. They use their money to buy back their time by hiring people, by creating passive income, so they can do what they want. They understand which resource is the one that's actually running out.
And here's another deep psychological truth for you. Money is an amplifier. It's like a giant magnifying glass. It doesn't change who you are at your core, it just gives you more power to be more of who you already are. If you're a generous person, you become a philanthropist. If you're a greedy person, well, you just become greedier. So, after all this, we come to the most important part. How do we make sure that money is working for us and not the other way around?
How do we make it our servant instead of our master?
First thing, and this is so important, you have to understand that money needs to move. It's designed to be in circulation. Cash that's just sitting there, stuffed under a mattress, it's like a melting ice cube. Inflation is slowly eating away at its value every single day. You have to put your money to work by investing it, by starting a business, or even just by investing in yourself to learn a new skill that can earn you more.
And what about debt? You know, debt gets a bad rap, but it's really just a tool. It's like fire. Used wisely, say to buy a rental property that makes you money, it can be an incredible accelerator for your wealth. But used wrongly for buying stuff you can't afford, it'll burn your financial life to the ground.
And at the end of the day, we have to remember what the real goal is. It's not just about buying fancy things. The true power of money is freedom. It's the ability to turn all the I have to's in your life into I choose to's. It buys you options. It buys you control.
So how do we get there? Well, it turns out money loves rules. It thrives on structure. And the 3 rules it loves most are these: having a plan for where it's going, having the discipline to stick with that plan, and having the patience to let time and compounding do their magic. Money without rules tends to disappear.
So we'll end where we started, with a question just for you. After everything we've talked about today, I want you to take a second and honestly ask yourself, in your life right now, is money your master or is it your servant? The answer to that question changes everything. Thanks for joining me.